Okay, so I'm going to be doing a VOD review for RobotNinja. I think they mostly play Ashe this game, and they swap to a bunch of different characters as the game progresses. I'm only going to be reviewing, I guess, I'll review all of attack and a little bit of defense, because I think this is a fairly long game, first and foremost, and I don't think you'll learn too much for me just going through over every little misplay you make. That's kind of like pointless in my opinion, especially because you're fairly new to the game, right? And you're Bronze 1. You can question what you have to work on, and the answer is, especially when you're in Bronze, pretty much everything, right? Like, I mean, no disrespect to you, but it is the lowest skill division in the game. So there are like a million. I mean, this goes for anyone, but in any rank, right? Unless you're literally rank 1. Even then, they have a lot to work on still. If you want to be pedantic, but usually the good thing about being bronze is that you can pick any one thing that you want to work on, and just fixing that one issue will make you go up in ranks. Fortunately for your case, I think you really need to work on your positioning, right? And it's something easy in principle to work on, right? Fortunately for you, I think your aim is a lot better than what I expect for the average bronze player. You actually, I assume you probably have other FPS knowledge or FPS experience. I'm sorry. So you get away with a lot of plays and poor positioning by just killing your opponents because they suck. Their movement's really bad and their aim's really bad, so they just miss you and make it really easy for you to hit them. So it's probably kind of carrying you even in bronze. I know that's kind of silly to say, but it is true. You're playing Ashe almost like a Cassidy or a Reaper, right? There's so many times where their entire team's here and you're like here over and over again, or like taking these really awkward angles like this, right? You're playing corners almost like a tank or a Reaper, right? And as Ashe, you outrange pretty much the entire cast of the game except like Widow, Ashe, yourself, obviously, if they have an Ashe mirror, or Hanzo. I mean, obviously, you have to worry about other projectile characters at this range, but every hit scan, if you play, except Widow or Ashe, if you play at your maximum effective range, right, they're not going to be doing full damage to you, but you'll be able to do full damage to them. So instead of playing really close to corners, right, like this, I know you always want to be playing cover, right? Or, sometimes you do almost the egregious thing of doing something like this. You're playing like this close around this cover here, which at least you're playing around corners in generally speaking, right? It could be better, obviously. What you should be doing is swinging corners wide, right? So, for example, your tank's playing here, play out here, right? For example, play around here because one, if you start taking a lot of spam from the Orisa, no problem, you have cover. And two, if this soldier even starts shooting you, he's only gonna be doing like, I don't know, half the quarter of his damage, max damage at this range, because he is so bad fall off at this range, but you have very limited, right? If you play around here, you can still blow this tank up, but the soldier can't like pressure you out because he does no damage, right? This is like a really big problem of yours. If you fix this one problem, you'll probably unironically go at least a gold. If you just think about good places to position, I guarantee you will climb at least an entire like rank division. Bronze 1's pretty much silver 5. It's like it's not that deep, right? And the reason I'm gonna pick on this unfortunate guy right here, the reason I think your aim is so much better, I'll just show you. This is kind of what I expect average bronze player to aim like, right? Okay, like, okay, he's hitting a tank at point blank range, which is okay. Like, see, he's hitting pretty much literally nothing else. And his trigger discipline, I'm sure you can see, it's really bad. Like, there's no one even near his crosshair, and he's just kind of spamming, right? I don't want to pick on this guy too much more, but this is why you're just winning every single 1v1, right? I'll just take a random example of like your aim, right, someplace. Okay, not shooting here unfortunately. Missing a Valkyrie Mercy, that's okay. Okay, unfortunately, let me go here. Okay, this is really unfortunate. Here, missing the dynamite, whatever. Okay, I can't find. We'll go over it as the game progresses, right? Your aim is significantly better than your than your peers, right? So I promise you, focus on your positioning, and you will climb ranks. Okay. So anyways, on to the actual gameplay here. Again, really what you should be doing, unless they have a Widow, that's the only thing that's going to insta-kill you. You should be swinging wide and immediately start shooting here, right? They don't have a Widow, so there's nothing really you should need to be afraid of. But this is okay. I guess you're checking for it. It's okay. I will say dynamites, you generally don't want to just solo dynamite tanks because it doesn't get a lot of value. It does 100-ish damage, something like that, right? It's really like does a ton to squishies, but a full HP tank with all their cooldowns doesn't care about your dynamite really. You want to be hitting squishies to force them into taking cover, or like as a finisher if they're trying to take cover, or to like hit a giant group of people. Just kind of dynamiting the tank's a waste of time because they're really easy to hit, so you're just better off just shooting them away, right? See what I mean? This is significantly better aim than your like peers, right? You hear? You get the kill in the cast, and this is what I mean, right? Like your positioning wasn't, you're a little too close to the cast, but he was like in a really random spot, so I don't really fault that for you too much. Here, you really do not want to be taking this flank, right? You just killed the cast, and you just lost your tank and your Lucio, right? So you should be looking to back up. You can keep backing up this way, right? Not necessarily this, like maybe this angle here, and if they start pressuring you really hard, you just shotgun away and you're behind cover here with your Moira so you can get healed. But you don't want to go on this flank, one, because you just got to pick and you can still see the tank or anyone else that wants to push from this angle, right? And two, this is a positional problem, right? You pretty much took away your advantage of playing this really long angle main, and you go on this short flank, right? What if they just have someone hiding around this corner that's just going to run into you and kill you? And even if that doesn't happen, right now you're within the soldiers and Yari's effective range, right? So this is a problem where if you just played main, you wouldn't be like exposing yourself to damage, right? You're right, kind of overstaying your welcome on this angle. Decent dynamite, but hitting that kind of baits you to go forward, and you just keep walking forward, right? And eat all that damage for no reason, so. Yep, good kills. This is fine. Here, what I would be doing, right? You hit that really good headshot on the Juno. Use your coach gun. Just coach gun yourself to the left, right? So, like, if you were here-ish, just coach gun over here. And you can keep shooting the Juno, right? Or maybe you can land over here or something and keep shooting her over here. You know, something like that. But just sitting on card, you want to get these kills as soon as possible, right? I know maybe you don't want to give up card, but that's okay. You should really be letting your team push card. This is probably the only time this game where I think you set up in a decent spot. Right? They don't have mobility, so nor do they really have good splash damage. So if you like don't troll, you're pretty safe up here, right? And you're at a pretty far range for the recontest. I think you could greed, you know, and like wide peek left side or something. But this is okay, right? This is kind of playing it safe. It's an okay time to go for a dynamite, right? This Reaper's probably gonna die. You know, your tank died, so what you should be thinking about is making sure you don't stagger, right? I think it's okay to drop down, but like I said, you're actually pretty safe up here because they don't have mobility, right? I guess the Mercy could like fly up and try to duel you. That's probably never gonna happen though. But dropping is okay. So, right, this is a pretty good range for you. Start shooting. If you see someone, start shooting, right? This is kind of like a bronze thing. Something else you should probably work on. But as you play more, this will probably naturally go away. You're just kind of walking forward for no reason and exposing yourself. But if you notice here, right? I'm a little too far back, excuse me. Go forward just a little bit here. You can see the soldier from here, and you can already shoot him, right? There's no reason to keep walking forward, right? No reason not to be shooting. Don't obsess about the dynamite that much when they're that far away, right? And because you keep walking forward, you're out of cover, right? And this cast gets a flank. I think he killed the Reaper and came all the way up here. But I'm sure if you can imagine, right, if you're just playing like here, for example, you'd have had a harder time getting flanked. Honestly, it's a random play by their cast. It's alright. Okay, so forward. Again, Okay, this is good. Right, shooting away the cast. Good shots. You should have kept taking the duel because he's already weak, right? Lucio's dead. Tanks AFK and spawn. Swap characters. It's all right. Just place it here. Spamming at the tanks, fine. And then see what I mean? You already had a good angle right side, and you take this short range duel almost like your Reaper. Like your Reaper was over here for a reason. Because you can get really easily blindsided here, right? If they hold here and they hear or see you coming here, they just peek this close angle, and you're not favored to lose this. Or sorry, not favored to win this duel, right? Against a cast at this close of a range, he's just generally speaking going to win this duel. He does here, right? But if you just kept playing main, right, this would have been completely avoided, right? You still had targets main, no reason to go on this flank, and you kind of do it again, right? No reason to be going on this flank here. No reason to bob here. You guys already got 2 picks, right? And no one on your team is particularly weak. So chances are, if you're already up 2 players, you don't need to ult 99% of the time. I mean, it's a general guideline, right? This is okay. So here, right? Again, you're gonna play this almost like a Reaper or a cast or a tank. You go all the way up here. Obviously, you're about to see what you're going to do. Go all the way up here, but when they roll out, they're going to be playing around here, right? Look how close of an angle this is for them, right? If they get you weak and just use their mobility to run in, right? They don't have much, but they have cast roll and soldier sprint. You could be in a really bad position. What if instead you just play this super long angle, for example, over here, right? You have good cover here, and your angles are much better for you, right? And you can even coach gun up here, and you have like pretty good angles up here, and you're tough to kill. If you get weak, you can just drop, right? Like I said, positioning, huge problem for you, right? Just giving you examples, right? You just play around and stuff, but playing these close angles as Ashe is not what you do, right? You can see like how awkward it is for you. I think instinctively you know that you don't want to be that close, maybe because you died to him earlier at that close of a range, right? You're right, but you just need to be thinking about where they're coming from, where's a good position for you to set up, so you don't get blindsided, right? And you can see like how awkward these angles are, right? You just don't have good long-range angles for you to take from where you position. Swinging that wide to shoot the pylon, not very good. You could have died there, I'm sure you can see. It's a pretty good dynamite though. Good shots, right? Here, if you get 2 picks, right, just keep walking in, keep swinging the angle, right? So you got 2 picks, right? You just kill both their DPS, so they don't have damage to kill you. Don't look to flank at this point. You kind of made the same mistake on first, right out of the gate, right? You killed the cast or whatever. Granted, you were down 2 or down 1 in that position, but you're safe, so you can keep swinging the angle. Here, right, you're down 2, they're down 2, excuse me. So just keep swinging the angle, help your team follow up on these kills. No need to flank at this point, or off angle, right? You should have been top left to start. Okay, this is good, right? It's good cleanup, regardless. A little late, but here, right? If there's downtime, go think about where you want to position to stop them from walking in, right? Chances are they can't touch the cart because they died super late, but this is bronze, so maybe someone's gonna, you know, hint, hint, just randomly run in anyways. Imagine if you're down here, right? You're still close to cover, right? You can see they can come from spawn that way, or they can come down this way, right? And either way, you have a really long sight line, which gives you a long time to run away, or a long time to do damage to them, right? And just by playing at that lane before they're there, you're denying them the ability to come there, right? But again, you're playing this almost like a Reaper or a cast, right? You're so close to these people from where they could walk in for no reason, right? When you're playing here and they peek this corner, let's say like their tank swaps to like, I don't know, Diva or something, and the Diva sees you here, she can just fly on you and insta-kill you, right? Or even if like DPS comes this angle, right? You're not favored again. Like on the first point, you're not favored. You're probably gonna get sick of hearing this, but this is such a big problem for you, right? So, I'm sure you can see if you're lower left to begin with, this Cassidy won't be on the flank, right? No reason to chase a tank, even though you do a decent amount of damage to him. He's not particularly killable because he still has punch form. good aim for the most part. Just could be a little bit better. I like that once the Ramatra starts pushing you, you give up on this angle. Unfortunate. Probably could have gone to the left. It's alright. You probably should have just died so you don't stagger yourself, but you end up winning this 1v1. Like, you're not favored in this 1v1 because you're already were weak. The cast was not, and he's at point blank, but you win it anyways because your mechanics are so much better than his, right? Okay, yep. A little risky there. Yep, waiting to get healed. Perfectly okay. Okay, this is kind of like a bronze thing. This is the first time I'll bring it up. When you're walking somewhere, you don't want to be looking where you're walking, right? What I mean is, like, you have a tendency to, if you're walking this way, you know, you do something like this, right? You always look where you walk, but you always want to be looking where the enemies can attack you from, right? So, example, you want to go for this rotation, right? Honestly, this is the problem about just looking where you're walking, right? You can be shooting the Ramatra right now and helping your tank finish him off or whatever. You really need to get in the habit of being able to, like, traverse the map without seeing where you're going, right? Like I said, it's a bronze thing. It's probably due to lack of familiarity. I think you said you just started playing the game a season ago, but this is the same in every FPS, right? If you're helping your tank with a Ramatra, your tank probably doesn't die. Kill the Ramatra instead, right? Just go ahead and take cover from behind him. So you're hitting good shots, but the problem is you're just getting too close, right? Sure, you're not in more danger than Juno necessarily, but because you keep walking forward, right? Walking forward main, in particular, you're putting yourself at risk to being walked at by the Reaper. But if you were just, like, for example, up here to begin with, right, taking the long angle here, or even like coach gunning up here, for example, look how much longer your angles are, and look how much harder it is for these people to reach you, right? If this Reaper is better, he could kill well, I don't know, do you have coach? So definitely force you away. No reason to bob, right? Their tank's dead, you just killed their Juno, and your tank just came back, right? So, again, not the best bomb. Not even talking about, like, where you put it, but kind of the more macro thing. Again, like, you're playing with your tank. If you see you're literally directly grouped with your tank, you're making a positional mistake, right? If your tank's playing this corner, come this way or something, right? You see you're so much safer here, and your vision's so much better on the enemy team, right? I mean, it doesn't literally need to be exactly right here, but just somewhere in this area, right? You don't want to group with your tank. When your tank's pushing a corner, you want to swing behind them more or less, right? Like, you see here, you're perfectly safe because you're so far away, and look how much better your sightlines are from this angle, right? But you're just putting yourself in positions where you're having a hard time shooting for players without, you know, them being able to do full damage to you, right? And you're too close, right? I guess you get scared because you hear or see the Reaper or whatever. You coach gun away. There's no reason to, but if you're just where I told you to be, or, you know, further away from your tank to begin with, you'd be able to follow up this shot, right? Here, just chuck the dynamite, right? Just chuck it directly above the bridge and shoot it. I'm sure you can see from this replay, like, how much trouble or how much issues you're causing yourself because you're just positioned in an awkward spot, right? Here, right, your entire team wiped. What you can do is coach gun up here, for example, right? Shoot them as they're coming out of spawn. If you start getting weak, right, you can drop, no problem, rotate main or something. Or you can, you know, you have options here is what I'm trying to say. You can come down here, right, shoot spawn. You know, this is a little riskier, obviously. Shoot spawn from this way, you still have spawn access from here. You can coach gun up here, for example. It's definitely a little riskier than going top left. I think top left is probably ideal. Just giving you different options to play around with, right? But just sitting main after they all die is kind of not what you want to do, right? You want to use the free time to go somewhere else. You see the problem with, like, sitting main is you're just randomly going to eat cooldowns and spam, right? I don't think this Ramatra is necessarily trying to vortex you. He's probably just trying to vortex a huge clump of people sitting on the card. So. I think just coach getting away here is preferable, right? You're down to top players. Honestly, that's okay. Jumping off the map is cool, just your entire team is dead. Don't want to stagger too much, so. Go forward just a little bit here. Right, you're kind of, again, you're rolling out instinctively, almost like you're a tank, right? It's kind of funny. You're trying to like limit the amount of long sight lines you peek, but every long sight line, especially now that I don't remember what the other DPS was, or Cassidy, now they literally cannot kill you at all. Like you have to hard troll to get killed by like a soldier rocket, or like stand still and let this Ramatra just like beam you down, right? It's not gonna happen, right? Just take the long rotation, right? Like I said earlier, because your vision is so much better from over here and you're perfectly safe. You know, from this angle now, you can do whatever you want to them and they can't touch you at all. So you want to be playing in the long sight lines when they don't have a way to touch you, right? And by like going this way, yeah, it's kind of random. He was set up there. I mean, it's a good play by him, honestly. But by just like pathing in the ideal way, you will just like naturally avoid stuff like this because you're in a better position to begin with, right? Good play by the Reaper though. I wasn't too mad about it. Again, small optimization thing with Ashe, right? I haven't really talked about much Ashe specific things because I don't think it's very important. Immediately coach gun out of spawn, right? Because by the time you get back to the fight, you're gonna have your coach gun back anyways. So it just speeds up your rotation just that much faster. Right? So no reason just to be slowly walking for it. Okay, yeah, catch up on it now. But I'm sure you can imagine if you used it the moment you spawned or whatever, you'd already have your coach gun back. It'd be like a second to off. So little long to start shooting that Juno. Yeah, no reason to run to cart, right? You already have teammates on cart. You want to use your teammates as a distraction, so the enemy team runs around cart, right? And if you're positioned better, right? They're doing all the hard work and making everyone on cart run all over the place so they don't get blown up by the Reaper or the Ryan that's about to come in. And then your job in this situation is just to shoot the people that are just running around like headless chickens, right? Kind of same principles earlier. You're just making this harder for yourself by like getting way too close to them. You see, you're just eating like random damage because they're surrounding you. You do not want to get surrounded like ever, especially when you're not on tank. They're kind of the only characters that can really deal with that, and that's generally speaking not ideal. No reason to be sitting on cart, right? You can cap with one person. It's okay. Here, go forward just a bit. Right, I'm not a fan of setting up here. One, you don't have a very good escape, right? You have to take this really long rotation all the way here to get healed. I guess you do have a life weaver, I think, yeah. But the problem is if they're on like a rush comp or something, or if they just start spamming this angle, right? You can't do anything, and like I said, you have that really long rotation. Odd. Okay, anyways, right, you have this really long rotation and you can't shoot back. Ideally, you'd probably be setting up, on here, for example, right? You can peek this angle and coach gun up here afterwards or something, right? Because you're much safer here and you can rotate to your team much more easily, right? You won't have so much downtime. But I do like that you're at least trying to set up on high ground, right? I guess this guy can see you through the spawn. So yeah, they have a Hanzo, right? Ignore the dynamite and just take cover, or at least move so you just get an easy headshot lineup. Kind of goofy, but that's all right. Definitely don't want to get an intro picked like that though. Could have been avoided if you just kind of like saw the Hanzo and forgot about your dynamite more or less. Just let it go so you don't die. Going forward here, right? Again, you're kind of walking forward, right, for no reason. Again, probably only going to go through do this review for a few more minutes here. You're probably sick of hearing it. You can already see the soldier, right? No reason to keep walking forward. If you do walk forward, right, what you want to be doing is taking, again, the long angle here, because you can do max damage, but they can't. And if you need to take cover, no problem. Like, you see how easy this is from here, right? You're blocking their LOS by playing far away. And if you start getting good shots, right, you just peek wider and wider and secure your kills, right? Just do stuff like that. No reason to be playing this one. See, if you're next to your Reaper, like, you're probably making a mistake, right? He wants to be close and you want to be far. You're just making it so awkward for yourself, right? be shooting the soldier or the Hanzo. This is okay. It's definitely risky. A little too close. I think you just set up right side to begin with. It'd be a lot better. Shoot the Mercy here. So here, I don't know why you're not shooting the people the Sig lifted up. I would just be shooting the soldier to get like the kill confirm, or the Malga to get the kill confirm. Because if you just get the kill confirms, then you can just drop down and like kill these people anyways. No reason to overcomplicate things. I think maybe you're thinking, oh, these people are guaranteed to die, which is true, but you know, there's a chance that your team just misses everything. So you definitely just want to get the kill confirmed. It only takes an extra second, right? And then you just get the cleanup kills afterwards, right? And this is the problem, right? You don't want to be here. Hanzo has storm arrows, right? He's favored at this range because he has storm arrows, and he also has the Juno's help. So if they both turned on you right now, you'd be in a losing position, but they just literally do not pay attention to you, right? Very goofy on the part. See what I mean? You have significantly better mechanics in this game, so. Okay, it wasn't necessary. Sorry. Okay, yep.
Never said it was pretty.
I think I'm gonna randomly skip somewhere. Okay, and watch just one random life on someone that's not Ashe. But I'm expecting to see. Actually, I want to see. I think you play not hitscan. I want to see how you play. Okay, I'll see how you play Mei. I don't want to watch more hitscan because it's basically the same thing as Ashe, right?
I'm advising my
okay, so you're gonna spawn hold here.
To test me.
At least attempt. I'd like to see how this goes in bronze. If you're gonna spawn hold, right? They changed it so it's a lot harder now, unfortunately, on this map. I want to see how you play Mei, regardless. Yeah, you don't want to just be sitting out in the open like that. This is really goofy. Okay, I apologize. You want to be waiting for someone to try to walk out and isolate them, right? They can instantly kill the wall. They have a Bastion and Malga. Like, the wall's gonna get in. See, it's already gone. You're gonna try to isolate them. Use the fact that they're alone can't get too much damage, right? Here, it's kind of funny. I know you want to play with your tank. No reason to block there. You see how effective walling the tank is when they overcommit, right? He used his charge. And now you block off both of his supports so they can't heal him. And you use his shout so he can't sustain, right? Very effective at killing him. Okay, this is good. Right. Go kill this Juno. This is fine. Right. You can play close. No reason to block there. Keep wasting block. If you're not low, right, don't block. And if they don't have stuns or something, like sometimes you'll want to use your block if they have a like hook or slam or like sleep dart, stuff like that. They'll stun you and just, so they instant kill you, right? So now this is when you want to use it, like right now. Yeah. So yeah, you just kind of die because you don't have your block. I really don't want to be face tanking the tank pretty much ever, especially against Malga, right? He does a ton of damage. So yeah, keep that in mind. So again, I really want you to be focusing on your positioning. You know, I don't know if Ashe is your main or whatever, but I'm sure I've showed you like tons of examples this game. Really, what you were looking for in positioning is a way that you can still do full damage to the enemy team, but they have a hard time of dealing with you without wasting a ton of resources to close the gap or keep themselves alive, right? Like for example, if you go Reaper, you want to be really close, you know, as close as possible, but if you're on Ashe, you want to swing the corners really wide. So obviously I went over a few mechanical things that you probably could have done better, but anyways, I hope this helps.